Hello, beautiful souls. This is Masami. I hope you are doing well and staying healthy. Well, what a sacred time of the year. And it's been an intense cosmic energy month, hasn't it? Well, maybe it's a good time to go back and watch the September's energy update that I did. And I'll put the link below. So check that out because I have been quite supported actually by rewatching that video myself. And we will be ending this month with a third consecutive super full moon, the harvest moon, and last super full moon of the year. So I will talk about what this super full moon is intuitively asking us to focus on in this video and how the full moon in Aries impacts all of us collectively during this sacred time, especially this last week or so of September. And if you enjoy content that I am putting out there, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this link and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And it means a lot to me to know that what I'm putting out there is of value and that you are enjoying it and also you're benefiting from these videos that I'm making. Okay, so let's get going on this super full moon, the harvest moon, this week, going up to that full moon. The energy is going to be building up quite a bit. And we're being urged to find your authentic self, particularly this week. And remembering that anything authentic is captivating and your authentic expression is quite enchanting and delightful to the moon as well. So I truly believe that the moon has the deep desire to connect with us, just as we have the yearning to connect with her. And the moon will see that, your authentic self, and really enhances that quality within you if you can tap into that. So that's going to become a really important theme, not just this week up to the full moon, but I will talk a little bit more about it, but into late October as well. So physically, full moon phase increasingly, reflects the light, right? But also the full moon period accumulates fluids in us physically. So it's better to allow some space within your body to fluids to not accumulate and get maybe edemic or retention kind of a thing, but allow some of the flow to happen. So around the full moon, maybe a night before and on the full moon day, and if you could do the next day, see if you could do intermittent fasting by skipping your dinner or finish your dinner. Like I always talk to all my clients about doing a supper number 1 and supper number 2, but finish up your supper early. And it's not actually dinner, but supper portion during those 3 days. That can be really, really supportive of your physical body during the full moon period. And particularly this one is pretty intense. So the retention might get you a little bogged down. Okay. So see if you could take a look at your choices when you're eating, what you're eating, but when the right timing still matters, because that was the theme of the September. It's to honor the right timing of doing things. And during this time, solar rays become very important before and after the full moon. And this harvest moon is, no exception here, right? So the solar light will be taken inward during this time to the fruits or harvesting time or the trees, or the light starts shifting. So the environment is very much impacted by the light changing, the solar light changing. So this is a really good time to take in some of that light inward, whether you're in northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. It really doesn't matter. I'd like for all of us to take in a little bit more solar energy and light during this full moon period. 10 to 15 minutes direct sunlight during these last sunny days for in the early autumn for the northern hemisphere. Especially for us, it's going to be very important for accumulating and increasing your vitamin D level. And we all need vitamin D because vitamin D helps to lower inflammation, reduces cancer cell growth, controls infections, helps the body absorb and retain calcium and phosphorus, and strengthens your body's barrier defense system. So it's really, as we are starting to get into the flu season, the cold season for Northern Hemisphere, especially for us, get that solar energy in, particularly to match it up with the full moon period will be spectacular for all of us. And stand outside under the super full moon during that nighttime if you can, and harvest is light inward. And this is the time that I make, and my husband and I make ghee around full moon and let our own homemade ghee be illuminated by the full moon light. So that could be an interesting thing that you can do, and a very helpful thing, because ghee will give you vitamin D as well, but getting the lunar energy added to that can be a very powerful thing for your whole body, mind, and spirit. And this is a great time in the Northern Hemisphere to eat seasonal fruits, particularly that have really pulled in the solar energy. So things like Asian pears, grapes, persimmons, these are the things that I grew up eating right around this time of the year. My uncle used to create these things because he was a professor of the college that taught how to plant these things and make beautiful fruits. That was his specialty. So he would use to send us boxes of these beautiful fruits, and we'll sit there and then as a family peel different things, persimmons, and eating Asian pears and things like that too. So obviously don't go overboard, because fructose can turn into pretty strong sugar holdings in your body and can turn into fats, and it can disrupt your insulin level too. So don't go crazy, but really enjoy the seasonal fruits that are just so beautifully sweet and juicy right now. And it's a little late, but peaches are still coming in, particularly places like where we live in Colorado. So enjoy that as well. And if you are eating fruits, one of the key things is to eat the fruits when the sun is up high, and also eat your fruits away from other foods. I'm not going to go into details about why that is, but that's a very important Ayurvedic teachings and Asian culture that I grew up in also taught me that. So I wanted to just share that little tip with you. And the full moon amplifies whatever it is casting its light on. And the full moon will act as a cosmic spotlight. And this moon is going to cast its light on your deep resistance to being you, authentic you. So you know that it's impossible to be anyone other than you, but you have been wasting a lot of precious energy, perhaps. And that's energy, the prana, is so important for you to continue to shine as you. So trying to find ways to be something other than you can be very exhausting. Trying to be more than you because you believe you are less, or you're trying to be different than you or less than you because you have been told that you are too much, perhaps. And wishing to have more heart, courage, or brain, which movie I'm talking about. You could be wasting a lot of your internal prana and your internal light that otherwise could shine brightly. So this wishing is where your internal conflict and conflicts, I guess multiple conflicts, but can stem from, because ultimately there's no place like home, and there's no being like you on this earth. And on topic of this topic, the full moon in Aries is impacting all of us even more with this particular topic. And it's easy during this full moon in Aries to become impatient and restless with yourself, internally argue with yourself, maybe speak to yourself in a dismissive or combative way, and at times bully yourself. And I actually caught myself doing that right before I was trying to get this video out. And my husband pointed out, hey, I just read your notes, and then you're doing exactly what you're telling others not to do. So I caught myself doing that too. So that energy is starting to pick up a little bit. So catch yourself when you go down that road. I needed my husband to let me know so I don't go down that road any further than I did. And especially during this week leading up to the full moon, and this topic of you can only be you, and embracing your self-worth and truly owning your beautiful, amazing, authentic qualities will be sure to come up during the eclipse season, which is coming up in October. And some of you might be already preparing. I am actually slowly looking at it. And this full moon is spotlighting this very meaningful and imperative theme of you can only be you. And it's setting the stage for the eclipse season. And I'm planning to offer a 3-week program in October where we will explore this very topic further during the eclipse season with the support of the lunar cycles. And that's very important because you could never talk about the eclipse season without acknowledging the power of the moon phases. The moon phases are so integral to the eclipse themselves, right? So stay tuned to that. And I will be emailing you with more details about this program. So if you are interested in exploring this important topic during eclipse season, please join our email list. I will put the link below so you can check it out and sign up. And then I'll be sending in the next coming week or so, I'll be sending you detailed emails about this program that I'm working on, that I'm so called to do and to guide you and to walk the path with all of you. So during this super full moon period, this harvest full moon, stay lit up, everyone. You are a light body meant to shine, and refuse to dim your light. And when you go down that road like I just did a little bit ago, catch yourself, bring yourself back to that light and refuse to dim who you are. And let's remember that this awareness will set the stage for the eclipse season coming up in October. And many of you know that solar eclipse will definitely impact up to about 6 months past that point of your energetic fields. And the lunar eclipse will impact 3 months after that. So there are layers to this in the eclipse season that we'll be exploring further. Looking forward to being with you again. I hope you will continue to pay attention to where your light is, get your light from the solar as well as the lunar. Just be with you, be you, and know that there's no place like home, and that's you. So come home to who you are and enjoy this energy that is building up, the light that is accumulating, that we're heading as we head towards the harvest full moon coming up at the end of this week. Looking forward to being with you again. Namaste.